Hi friends, Aitherea here, and today I want to talk about my theories for Pictomancer. Now, I've never played Final Fantasy VI, so I might be way off because I don't have anything to base this on. I'm really just basing this on what I saw at the keynote at the most recent FanFest in Japan. I have also not watched any other creators' videos on what their theories about Pictomancer are, so this is all just my unadulterated thoughts, and maybe I will be super far off and super way wrong, but that's okay because honestly, it's just fun to do this. So first of all, I haven't really made any videos about Dawntrail because honestly, up until this point, obviously yes, I'm excited for there to be a new expansion, but there was nothing that I felt like inspired or super excited to talk about. And I never thought that I would want to talk about a DPS because I don't like playing DPS. There is really not a DPS in the game that I really love, and if I'm forced to play DPS, I play Summoner because it's super easy and straightforward. But Pictomancer, honestly, that trailer got me. It looks super exciting, and for once, I'm excited. And you know, it's yeah, Viper looks cool, but I just know that even if I unlock it and play it, I'm probably not gonna like it. I'm gonna level it up to max and then just leave it behind. But anyways, let's cut the chaff here and let's just talk about what I think Pictomancer is gonna be. So when I was first watching the keynote, my immediate thoughts were this is gonna be the dancer of casters. And I'm not sure that I completely agree with my initial sentiment, but I do feel there's some overlap. So let's just talk about Pictomancer and how it works. So first of all, what they wrote on the keynote slide thing was that it works in the medium of mixed ether, wielding a specialized brush to render their imaginings reality. These creations include not only creatures and weapons, but landscapes as well. So this had me thinking about Machinist and Dark Knight actually, because it said that they can draw creatures. So it had me wondering if they would almost summon something that would temporarily fight by their side, similar to Dark Knight's Living Shadow or Machinist's Rook or Automaton. But I'm not entirely sure because the actual video, they do summon a Moogle. I wouldn't even call it a summon, but they draw a Moogle and then it shoots out a line attack. So maybe it's not gonna be an actual summon, but it would be kind of cool if it was, because I feel that'd be, I don't know, I just think that'd be really neat. The other thing that they said about Pictomancer was that, as evoking such wonders takes time, the Pictomancer also keeps instant cast abilities and spells at the ready. So obviously they're probably going to have a bunch of off-global cooldowns, well maybe not a bunch, but a few or a handful that they can weave in between global cooldown spells. But what this had me thinking was, first of all, I wonder if they have to go through a series of brush strokes. So each global cooldown attack would be a brush stroke. And then after they do a series of brush strokes, there would be the final picture, whether it's a painting of a mountain we saw in the video, or some sort of creature or weapon. The final picture takes a bunch of brush strokes to get there, and maybe in between those brush strokes you weave in certain off global cooldown skills. And the video does seem to support this theory because it does show them just painting little strokes of paint. But this is also partially what made me think of Dancer, because if you look at Dancer, first of all of Dancer's animations are dance steps. Whether you're actually doing the standard or technical step, all of the actual attacks are dance steps. So I think it's going to be very similar to that, and that all the animations will be brush strokes. I feel that's kind of obvious, but I think the other thing that had me feeling it was Dancer was kind of what I just explained, because for Dancer, you kind of do your standard step or your technical step, which is the AoE, and you go through I think for the AoE one, it's 5 or 6 steps before finally doing the final thing. Although I think it's a buff and an attack. I do think Pictomancer will be slightly different in that, but I do feel it could be similar. And who knows, maybe it'll even have something similar where you do a few brush strokes and then you get some sort of support buff thing, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be exactly like Dancer, because as much as people like to say that the jobs are homogenized, they do each have their own identity. So I don't think it's going to be too overlapping. But the other thing about Dancer is that you have skills that unlock other skills. So you have Cascade and whatever the heck the other one is, and you can possibly unlock up to Fan Dance. So maybe this could be something. I don't think this one's going to be like RNG based the way that Dancer is, because sometimes you just don't get the luck of like unlocking that skill. At least that's how I understand Dancer. I never play Dancer, so I'm sorry if I'm completely wrong. I literally never play it. I only unlocked it and leveled up because it was pretty and I wanted to be able to wear the job gear. Literally that, and because I wanted to be able to Peloton through cities. That's the only reason. But yeah, I do kind of wonder if there's just gonna be like a little bit of similarities and overlap in that idea of like doing multiple different skills that lead to like one bigger, more fancy skill that either has like some sort of buff or just like more damage. That's kind of what I'm wondering if Pictomancer is going to be. And the other thing is they did say that they have magic that can support their party. Now they did caution us that it's not a full support class, but again, that kind of reminds me of Dancer because obviously Dancer's really supporty because Dancer has Curing Waltz, which is like an AoE heal. It also has Shield Samba, which is an AoE shield. They also have Technical Step, which buffs the whole party, and then they have Dance Partner, which buffs their dance partner in specific, and there's other skills like Devilment that work with Dance Partner to continue buffing that partner. So I do think that Dancer's probably more supporty than Pictomancer is going to be because again, they did specifically say that it's not going to be super duper supporty, but that it will have buffs for the team. So that's why, again, it still reminds me a little bit of Dancer in that sense. Maybe I'm drawing too much of a parallel here, but I guess my main things that just make me think Dancer is that, again, the animations are all gonna be brush strokes, just like the Dancer animations are all dance steps. And then the idea of having to go through, different strokes, different steps to then unlock the beefy skill, the beefy painting, or in the Dancer's case, the technical step. I don't think that Pictomancer is going to be quite as limited in DPS as Dancer is though, because the whole thing behind Dancer is when you're spending time doing those dance steps, the steps themselves do not actually do any damage. It's only once you release, you do that final finishing step that you release both the buff and the damage. So I don't think that Pictomancer is going to be quite as limited in that way. I don't know if limited is really the right word, but I don't think it's going to take as long for Pictomancer to do damage. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be like each brush stroke might be like a GCD attack where they like each do damage and then it finally kind of like unlocks another attack, which is going to be an even beefier attack. But it's hard to say because obviously the reason that Dancer kind of has that limitation on the dance steps not doing damage, I think is twofold. One is because the job is seen as a lower DPS, higher support job, but then second of all because once you actually do the final finishing step, it is more of a beefy attack. So I'm curious to see like how much damage a Pictomancer is going to do. Obviously they said it won't be like Black Mage levels, but most of the casting jobs aren't quite up to Black Mage levels. So maybe it's going to be more similar to like Red Mage in damage. Hard to say, but it's definitely exciting. I think honestly what got me excited about it isn't even just like how it works or the idea of like doing DPS. I just like the animations, like literally the trailer with Cryle as well as the actual Pictomancer trailer. I was just like, that looks cool. That's it. I'm very simple. I'm just like, I don't care if it's complex or simple. I mean, okay, I personally prefer simple jobs. That's why I play Summoner. But at least when I see the trailer, I'm just like, pretty paint, want to play. And so that's pretty much my thoughts on Pictomancer. As of now, will it be the Dancer of casters? Who knows? But is it going to be pretty? Probably. I'm also really excited about the weapon. I think the brush that we saw in the trailers was really cool just in its own. And I also really like the job gear, to be honest. I don't like the hat. The hat is ugly, but I like the job gear. And I feel like going forward, it could have possibly like a really nice aesthetic. Like I'm excited to see job gears in the future once we get to level 110. I think it'll be really cool. And just seeing what weapons they come out with through the Dawntrail expansion, what relics we get. I'm honestly really excited. More so about like the aesthetic and the accoutrements than like the actual DPS. But again, I do think the animations for the DPS are really cute and fun. So overall, actually excited about this job. Did not expect to be excited about any of the jobs aside from Beastmaster for Dawntrail because I just don't care about DPS. Like I was like, oh, there's no healer. I'm just gonna be like, you know, more excited about other aspects of Dawntrail, but no. I'm actually excited about Pictomancer and I'm actually going to unlock it and level it up. I probably won't level it up through the MSQ. I'm probably not gonna be the person that unlocks it on drop just because like I still want to play my healer through the MSQ and I know everyone's gonna be playing Pictomancer and Viper, so I will still be here in roulettes to heal you guys, okay? I'm gonna be using the duty finder or whatever for all my MSQ needs and I will be here to heal you guys, but otherwise, yeah, I'm actually excited about it. So I'm gonna stop talking in circles. Let me know what you guys think about Pictomancer. I want to hear your theories about it in the comments below. What do you think it's gonna be like? Do you think there's any merit to me talking about Dancer? And with that, please consider leaving a sacrifice for Lord Algorithm in the form of a like, comment, share, or subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching. Bye!